We made a festival caliber 15-minute long short film using only one location, 4 crew members, and less than $400. Hello, my babies, and welcome to another episode of Real Talk. My name is Jeremy Burchard from the pop rock duo Moonlight Social, and we have a really cool video for you today. This is something we haven't done before. We have a special guest on today's episode to talk about lessons we learned from filming a very low-budget short film. The star of our film, Sad, Masha Abramson, is here to spill all kinds of fantastic knowledge that will help directors and actors alike. If you don't know what Sad is, it is a short film that we put out near the end of last year. I wrote and directed it, Jennica and I had minor roles in it, and Masha flew in from LA to play the lead. If you haven't yet, check out the full film linked in the description below. This was the first time we've ever done a project like this, and it has been accepted into 6 different film festivals so far, with 10 festivals still pending. That's pretty cool for us. We only submitted it to a little over 20 festivals so far, so it's been really well received, which is really awesome considering how much time and effort we put into it. I'm not saying this to be like a braggart. I'm just saying that even if you have a very small crew, a very small budget, even only one location, you could still make something that has a really good chance of being seen. Before we talk to Masha, a few quick technical things here. We shot almost the entire film using the Blackmagic Pocket 4K camera. There was one scene where we actually used an iPhone. We used almost entirely available light. We did use 2 little aperture MC lights and a little $70 light wand. We spent the budget on things like some wardrobe pieces, some makeup, snacks from Trader Joe's, 2-day Dana Dolly rental from ShareGrid, and then we paid Masha $100 a day for the 2 days that she was shooting with us, which didn't even cover her flight. She should have made 100 times that, but we're super grateful that she was willing to come in and do this project because she loved the script and she really wanted to be a part of it. If you have any specific questions about the film or how we made it, I will happily answer all of them in the comment section below. Just pop in a comment and I'll get to it as quickly as I can. And if you are enjoying these videos, as always, please give us a thumbs up and click the subscribe button. It helps us grow this channel so that we can make more videos for you. All right, let's talk to Masha. Hey, Masha. It's good to see you. Thank you so much for taking the time to be here. My first question. You play 2 main characters in this movie. 98% of the film involves you. How did you approach this role knowing that you were going to be doing so much heavy lifting as an actor?
Yeah, so I think what was the most helpful for me was actually talking to you. I think talking to the writer/director, and kind of learning more about what were your intentions with this, what were you envisioning for this character and this just the whole project. Was really helpful in preparation. And then I think also just creating some more backstory that maybe, well, definitely wouldn't be evident in the film itself, but makes Ashley like a real person that I can embody, as opposed to oh, this woman is going through some problems and is scared shitless now.
So you like creating motivation and background story for a character, even if the audience isn't going to see it played out on screen.
I mean, every day we show up as ourselves to things, but there's so many parts of ourselves we don't show. But on a subliminal level, those things are still important and inform how we act and what we do. So I think that's really helpful as an actor to kind of try to dig into that part of your character, to have a holistic view in person.
So you played a character who has to interact with and react to another character who actually isn't there. Was it difficult for you to navigate filming those scenes?
It was tough. I'd never done that before. And I do think it's really hard, actually, especially because even more so when you're on set and the reality is that it's silent and the lighting is good. There's nothing scary about it, right? You're really comfortable with who you're there with. At least I was in my case with you. And so there's so much that you have to build up in your head. And so I think kind of giving yourself that time before shooting a particular scene to set the scene in your mind and sort of talk yourself through what were the steps that I took to get to this place right now where I'm experiencing these, events. I think that was the most helpful probably for me.
As an actor, what do you like about working with small crews and low budgets?
Yeah, I think the thing about working with a small crew is the camaraderie that it brings. Like you really get to know people, like you have this really awesome shared experience. And I think it kind of like not just a small crew, but also working on a lower budget is fun too, because it's like you have to get scrappy, you have to get creative, you have to like stretch yourself and like you're kind of wearing many hats, you know, although I was like, my role was to be this actor, like, you know, I could kind of jump in other ways and it's fun to kind of stretch yourself that way.
Okay, so do you feel like having such a low budget impacted the story that we were trying to tell?
Honestly, no. And I say that because like, yes, there's so much more that we probably could have done with like a big budget. But like you could say that about anything, right? There's always more that can be done on anything. But I think what made this special and what made this fun, part of it was the budget and the small crew. So like, yeah, I'm happy that it was the way that it was.
As an actor, how do you approach working on low budget projects?
First of all, I think as an actor, especially when you're, you know, working with like smaller budgets and smaller crews, and it's still okay to be like, you know, deliberate about who you work with and what you work on. Like you want it to be a good environment and you want to be comfortable and like, you know, you want to be with good people. And it's always really fun to make things with your friends, especially. But I think kind of like leaning into the fact that you might have to kind of help out in other ways, right? You're not just there maybe to do one thing, and like lean into that and enjoy that aspect of it.
Okay, for any aspiring directors out there, as an actor, what can a director do to make a low budget experience comfortable and worthwhile?
I think a few things. I think what made it really wonderful for me working with you in this situation was, one, like you did have a vision and you were able to give direction. I think that there are some directors that maybe don't have very much vision sometimes. They're a little bit more like in the shadows of that. But I thought that was really great. And yet you were really open and like willing to be collaborative and like, you know, bounce ideas off of each other. And also like you definitely, and I think this is important for all directors, is to like show care and compassion for your actors and your crew and like check in with them. That was really great, right? Because like you said, we're tired and it's a long shoot and there's a lot going on, and getting into some of those emotional scenes, like maybe take a little bit more time, and so giving space for that is really wonderful.
Okay, on the flip side though, what should a director not do in these situations?
Yeah, you know, I think that different directors see the role of the actor in different ways. And so I think like some directors limit the actor where it's like, I'm just going to tell you what to do and you're going to do it and that's it. But I think that no one has spent more time with that character typically than the actor. So like the actor might have some thoughts or ideas that like could really bring something beautiful, you know, to that role. And so kind of opening that like lane of communication and collaboration is cool. And that doesn't always happen.
How much of your performance as an actor came from decisions that you made before we started rolling versus after we started rolling?
I think it's kind of a combination. I think like we had a couple of conversations and then I just sort of like, and then there was a couple of weeks that we really didn't talk about like the role or, you know, in specifics. And I think it was just like marinating. And once I was on set and I could see the set and like get a sense of things and really like be in that moment, there were also new things that clicked that I didn't like anticipate. So.
Right, because another thing with low budget is that you like might not get to pick the perfect set or even know what the set looks like before you film, right? Like you could show up the day that you're supposed to film and be seeing the space for the first time and just have to roll with it.
Yeah. So I didn't know the space. I came to the space and then we started shooting, which I do think is a unique situation. So yeah, and that does change things.
What were your favorite scenes to shoot?
Certainly loved murdering you. I was probably tired and cranky and, you know, ready to take it out on you. No, but I guess really, I loved playing Sinister Ashley. I thought that was just so fun. And I think I was feeling kind of kooky that late at night.
She's a very helpful depression demon.
Still gotta love my plants. Oh.
After shooting for so long. So it was like, it was just fun. So yeah, but I did really like the scenes outside, like where I was, in murder mode. Although I just remembered, I don't know how I forgot this scene. I just remembered all the spitting I had to do and how I'm sure I spit all over you too. So
You're talking about the moment when you had to spit the wine, the grape juice, and our really ridiculous concoction for a fake sink. And yeah.
Good times. Just the memories are coming back. That's all.
All right, on the flip side of that, I'm not going to say least favorite, but what was the most challenging scene for you to shoot?
I think that the most challenging part was actually like in the bathroom, when Ashley gets scared, starts getting kind of freaked out because again, there was like nothing to play off against. So good lighting, it's silent. You and I are like laughing between takes. So I think that like that was kind of tough. And there was like more blocking than you would think, I feel like, in the bathroom too. Again, like playing around with things that aren't there, and figuring it out. And then there was me being left-handed unexpectedly. Is that what you were going to say?
I was about to say, there's a giant mirror, so we have to avoid, random stuff with that. But yes, please for a second talk about how I wrote a character that was right-handed and then didn't realize that you'd be doing everything with the other hand.
Yeah, it was also the way that, so when we sat down with that script and you're like, blah, 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 with her right hand, because who would use their left hand? You said something like that. And I was like, okay, I'm going to break some news to you right now. Like, don't just stay calm. I am left-handed. I can do it with my right. We can try, but it might look a little funky. So we made it work. But yeah, that was a stumbling block.
Yeah, and in that opening bathroom scene, we also filmed with an animal.
Yes, we did shoot this film with a diva, certifiable diva.
And then back down here. Go out. All the way, man.
He was lovely. However, I don't know that he felt the same way about me. So yeah, that was a little bit hard.
Okay, so do you think that actors and filmmakers and writers should like try to pick a genre or a niche at the beginning?
Yeah, that's a good question. I mean, I think if there's something that you really love doing, do it. But I think in general, it's fun to try different things, and really like stretch yourself as an actor. And like, it's funny, like years ago when I was much younger, I don't think I appreciated like scary films or the horror genre at all. Like I thought that I kind of looked down upon that acting, which I don't know what I was thinking, but I thought like, oh, it's easy to be scared. And in reality, it's really not. I think it's one of the hardest. Like now that I've done different kinds of roles, I'm like, this is tougher for me at least than any other kind of role. So like kind of, yeah, trying different things, experimenting, like don't limit yourself, I would say. But if there's something that you want to pursue, like just connect with people in that space.
Okay, so what have you learned about acting then when it comes to like the horror genre or like the bigger genres with more like action and visible, like tension on screen?
The thing about acting is that you don't want to be acting at something. Like you want to embody that character, right? So you want to be a real person. I guess I'm speaking specifically for stage. I mean, film, like stage might be a little bit different. But yeah, I think if you overthink that stuff, then you start acting at it, and then you lose the nuance. It becomes like way too animated. So yeah, I think it all goes back to like really knowing your character and embodying that person.
Amazing. Thank you so much for your time. I had a wonderful time talking with Masha, and I hope you also found it useful. If you haven't seen the film Sad yet, please check it out now. And if you want to see some videos about the gear that we used to create the film and many other projects, click around here somewhere. Thanks, y'all.